So for a while, I've been putting off making this video because it was very traumatic for me. But tonight, I am going to talk about it. After going through a very extreme experience with Whirlpool, concerning, people, the stuff that was going on. There was a witch, or a girl that was working there. She was a witch, and she was saying that, telling me something about a prophecy was going to happen, and all types of stuff. So I, dealt with that stuff and listening to the tarot and different people around me telling me stuff. And it was just like I was going in a place where, from work, it got really crazy. Today, I guess I'll talk about the incident that happened on December 26th, regarding me and my son, my children, and stuff at home. So most of the time, this was about, the issue when I was working at Whirlpool. The people would make fun of me. They would do all kinds of things to me. And when I would go to report it, they would just, the managers and the leaders, they would just dismiss it. And when I started pressing it, making a big issue out of it, going to HR, then, a lot of the leaders, I guess they were rubbed the wrong way in that situation. So, I started doing things more thorough. And of course, a lot of things, that didn't stop the teasing and the bullying and stuff like that. But they became very strict in what they were doing. The things that they were doing, they became very, very, and, they want to try to catch everybody up. It's like, oh, you want to try to get me, so now I'm going to get you. So, they would do stuff to me. They would go and they would, I would call human resources, and they would act like, nothing was happening. So I went to, I was on a line where, I had moved through 3 lines because these people were literally, like, they just kept messing with me. They kept messing with me. And, so I went to another line. I went to my doctor. My doctor was, trying to was treating me and stuff like that. Because I had PTSD really bad, and I was at work, and, my doctor ended up taking me off of work because of that. And, so, I came back to work, and I was on this line 3, on overnights from 10:45 to 7:15, Monday through Friday, or Sunday night through Friday morning. So the one, it came to a climax where, the one girl, she was a witch. Her name is Devin Failer, and she would say stuff like, they had they was doing stuff. There was an incident where she had touched me inappropriately, and it was just, I was always going through stuff, and I was trying to keep it quiet because I needed my job. But it was like, I am walking away from this situation, with these people. So, or, just not necessarily really walking away, but it was just like, I am just going to tolerate as much as I can. And it came to a point where I was just like, okay, these people are being outright disrespectful. I'm just finna start telling people, directly what was being said or what was being done. I'm finna start telling people directly. So, what happened was that when December 20th, well, it was a couple days prior to that or something like that, that I just felt, I want to say this may have been in November, that I just felt in distress, or could have even been December. I just felt in distress dealing with the stuff, knowing the stuff about the tarot, knowing the stuff about what the girl, Devin Fowler, was doing. The people that I had talked to had wrote a message to Greg on Facebook about what was going on, and he told me he was going to let HR know about what was going on or whatever, in which they didn't really. He said he was going to contact HR and they was going to do something, and I didn't honestly think that it was going to be an issue like that, because I didn't think it would be an issue like that because I had went to Human Resources time and time again, and they did absolutely nothing. But Greg had went to them and talked to them, and they were on the phone, like calling themselves, doing investigating, and there was nothing. And so after that, what December 20th came along, I was working on this job, or working in one of the areas that was not my area. Well, it's like in our area, and it was like I had already trained on this, so I wasn't necessarily sure why I was training again, but I told him that I was in distress from the one girl in the area mistreating me, so it was like I needed to be moved. So what happened was that they were going to what happened was that they were, they were doing whatever. I came to this one area, I was retraining again, and the line leader came down and said to me, his name is Curtis Manuel. What's his name? Curtis Jerome or something like that. Manuel. I don't care. I looked up on these people, and I have all the information, because they did something to me that I'm not going to let get away. I'm not going to let them get away with what they did. They did something horrible to me and my family, to me and my children, and I am going to speak about what they did. So what was happening was that they the manager, Curtis Manuel, he walked up on me, and there was a couple people that just kept asking me. I knew something was going on fishy, and this is the reason why I questioned everything about this group, because of everything that was going on. And after I had reported them, then that's when everybody started getting friendly and wanting to know my business and getting to know my information, how many kids I got, what I got going on, what's going on. These people in this job at Whirlpool in Clyde, Ohio, on line 3 overnights. That's like right across from the lunchroom. So he said to me, if I never see you again, I just want to tell you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Now we just going on like a Christmas break, and that started December 20th, right? So from December 20th to the 1st or the 2nd, like we'd be off of work from December 20th until the 1st or the 2nd. Now I never told these people I was not coming back to work. What I said was I was going house hunting in Michigan, which I was supposed to have been going somewhere with a friend, but we never ended up going or whatever, because my body was just too tired. I was sick and I was tired from all the stress that the job was putting me through. So what I did was that I went to a couple other people had said the same thing to me that night. one girl was asking me questions about, you're going to be on the road? And it was just weird because people was asking me questions about a road. But it's like if it's like they was trying to get that information. And I was like, I'm not about to give it to them. I'm about to lie to these people just like they've been lying and doing all their little bullshit. So, when that happened, I was like, why would he say something like that to me? Like, he don't know me. Like, that was just weird. But later on that night, or in the morning time, after, everybody was out of the area at 7:15, Yolanda Prochnow walked up to me and was like, hey, I just wanted to tell you Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and try not to get into any car accidents. And I was like, that's the second dish today. They just said something about a car accident. So I was like, oh, okay. Once that happened, I got off of work, and that happened. I got off of work. Hours later, my sister gave me a call and told me that she had been in a car accident. She called me hours later and told me she had been in a really bad car accident where a lady had turned off in front of her and totaled her car. And one thing that she said to me that made it really weird is that she said is that I got into a car accident. This lady hit me. And she said that everybody, they got out the car or they came to wherever she was and they was checking on her and making sure she was okay, and they left my sister where she was. My sister said that she got dizzy in her head, something about her head. The same thing that had happened to my son. The same thing that happened to me, the same thing that happened to my son, and the same thing, I guess, happened to this woman at that place. So what she said was that this woman had hit her, and she said that they came and they checked on that other lady and they seen about her, and my sister expressed the fact that she was hurt because nobody was there to really check on her and make sure that she was okay. But everybody had went and surrounded themselves around the person that had started the problem. So I was like, oh, okay. Or that had caused the accident. And I was like, oh, okay. So what then happened was that she said that, she said everything was okay, that she was working, that it was an issue with the insurance, that they had to settle some type of issue with an insurance. So when that happened, they did whatever it was they had to do, and that was fine. Now, it came back to me, like, it was like, from that situation, I'd already knew because I had got mad at one of the people at work, and I literally had a flash of one of them getting into a car accident. And it was like, at this point in time, because of the things that was happening to me, the things that these people were doing to me, and they were hiding it, and they were getting away with it. I didn't necessarily care about no flashes or no dreams or nothing like that I was having. That, that just, I didn't care because I was in a place where I was trying to nurture myself. I was trying to love and nurture myself before I had hit a rock bottom. And I just knew that everything at the girl Devin Saylor talking about some type of prophecy happening. That we were all going to be in big trouble. There was a prophecy that was going to happen. We were all going to be in big trouble. That's what the girl Devin Saylor told me. Was that was on Halloween night. And some nights at work, like after that, it was just always weird. I was always having to try to watch my back. People were standing around doing stuff to me. And it was like I would turn around and I would catch people walking places and doing little different things. And I would watch people standing in areas just looking and watching me. I remember standing in this one area where I'm standing there training in this job that I had already trained for, and I signed this little blank piece of paper or whatever with my signature, and I'm standing on this thing training for a job that I had already trained for, and I didn't get it. But it was like I told Greg that I was in distress about what was going on in that job or in that area, so I needed help, and I turned to him. And it was like I didn't understand it, and I would come back. Some nights they would come, and I'm kind of wondering if this was all just some kind of fucking show. But the girl Devin, she kept coming with the girl that was training me. She kept coming over there, and she kept saying, What are they doing? What do they have her doing? Why is she doing this job? Why is it that she's doing this job over again? What is they doing? Like, why is she up here? Why are they, blase split? Trying to figure out what's going on. So, the girl was like, I don't know. He just told me to train her or whatever in this area, blase split. I don't know. So after that, and it was crazy too, because I just see people being so cool and close with each other that they be talking and smacking and saying, they be united in one area and in one instance or whatever. And then when they be apart from them people, they be calling them and acting a whole fucking fool. And she was like, yeah, they don't know what they're doing. And the girl that was training me was like, yeah, they don't know what they're doing. They always sit in the office. And then Devin was like, yeah, they sit in the office on their cell phones and they just play on their cell phones most of the night. And it's like, yeah, sometimes you can tell people staring at you, but you're like trying to act like you're not seeing these people looking at you. And people are going to say you're crazy. But when you literally have people staring and looking at you and you're like looking like, okay, don't look. Like, I'm trying not to be confrontational. I'm trying not to come in with these people and figure out what the fuck is going on. Like, why are y'all acting like this? And I stood up there. They stood together in a group. First off, I seen the girl Devin. I seen her standing, like there was this area that we're standing with, and I'm putting the labels and stuff on top of the thing. And on the other side of the line, like across the aisle, is the manager station. And the managers and some of the leaders were standing down below. The girl Devin walked like on the side where she was looking at me, because just recently, of course, my people were saying stuff, and they were saying stuff about a pregnancy, but it's like, what is everybody talking about? Like, what is these people talking about? So, I couldn't figure out what was going on or what the problem was or what the situation was. But I had a stomach, like, I have a recurring issue that happens time and time again concerning my stomach during certain times of the year. Like I'll get a stomach infection, or I would get, some stuff going on, and it's just like it lasts however long it want to last. And sometimes, like I wasn't able to really eat much. I wasn't really able to sleep much or lay on my stomach much because it hurt. And sometimes, like, it hurts when you try to poke it, like pull it in, but so it's just like uncomfortable in a place where you just kind of just like, I don't care, I'm just gonna wear, my stomach is bloated, I'm just gonna wear something to try to cover it up so people don't notice. And of course people was asking me questions, but I wasn't finna tell them none of my business. I wasn't telling them nothing up in that job, nothing like that. I wasn't telling them nothing. So it was like, okay, I go, and I'm dealing with that. I watched her stand on the side of me, and she looked at me, and the people looked over, like the people was standing down there, and they was looking at me, and they was looking at her, and she was laughing and, doing whatever. I would watch people sit and make the little faces at me all the time about, when they would speak on my medical condition that I have TMAU. And I haven't really been as actively professive with that situation because I still cannot get over the situation that I am in now. And it's really caused me to go inward with everything that happened. It just caused me to go inward. It caused me to have to sit and just feel, just accept what it is that I'm going through. So, or to at least try to. But with that whole situation, I sat and I watched that unfold. I watched the people who came in when the EEOC came, and they was questioning these people at the job about what they were doing, or the stuff, and of course everything came back inconclusive. They wanted it to, even after all the proof and stuff that I gave the job, that these people was doing whatever, when these people was literally doing stuff, and they would lie and say they don't recall this, or that didn't happen. And then I would show them videos that this stuff did happen, and they would say, well, that don't got nothing to do with no way. Well, it has everything to do with the people that you put in power. You put these people in power. You put these people in a position to oversee us, and they're lying to you. So if they're lying to you, then what else would they lie about? They will lie about a whole bunch of shit. They'll do it. They covered the shit up, and they covered it up for whatever purpose I do have. I'm gonna make further videos about what is happening, and because I know quite a lot. I know quite a lot about what's going on, and I am going to post it all. But over that situation, after that day, I never went back. I went back and forth with Human Resources on the phone, and I spoke with Rick Zelmer on the phone numerous amount of times. And I went to, I would sit on the phone and I would listen to them laugh and giggle like it was funny. Like it was funny. Like those people had came in and they literally fucked up my whole entire life. And they thought the shit was funny. So at just one point in time, I walked away from it. I was just like, you need to investigate. Y'all need to get people in there. And at this point in time, they was telling me, thought it was weird that we would go down for a certain amount of time or whatever because of the stuff that was happening. But, which I have further info about that. But what is happening is that after that date, I was at home, and of course, I didn't really have much to console me in the fact that, I'm there, I'm dealing with all these emotions and stuff and trying to control the situation with the medications and the other stuff that's going on. So I'm sitting at home and I'm just like kind of looking into these videos and stuff and just trying to calm myself. I would try to pray, and I just had so much hurt and pain and pressure on my heart and on my body. It was just too much. And I was getting the messages and stuff to my phone telling me that I had that there would be clues to, there was a game that I had to play, and that there would be clues, and that I had to, do whatever with the clue, whatever. So I'm like, I'm not doing anything. And they would start just keep doing stuff. They would keep doing stuff again and again and again. They would just keep saying stuff and keep doing stuff. They was like, somebody came and banged on my window early in the morning. It was just a whole bunch of stuff that was going on. And even like after Christmas, like I had my kids in the room and they was laying down, and we was all just tired. We were just all so tired. And we went to, I just sat out in the living room. It was dark. I didn't want to turn on all the lights, so I lit some candles. And I was sitting in the living room, and I'm just like praying and just trying to connect, to feel some type of relief, because I had just went through so much shit on this job with what these people was doing to me. I had went through so much shit, and I was like, it's whatever. It's whatever. So I let it go. And what happened to me was that they said that something was going to happen to me. And that something was going to possess me or whatever like that, and it was going to eat me alive or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, that's whatever. I was tired and I was stressed out, and I was very just on the edge. So the next day came around. My neighbor, she was doing stuff and she was acting funny. Like, I was questioning everything. They was talking about going to a dinner, and that Judas or something like that was supposed to betray me and was supposed to be at some type of dinner. I didn't care. I ended up canceling dinner or whatever like that. So the next day, I go to, they're saying whatever. Me and my kids, we sitting at home, and my one son say his head was hurting. And I was like, yeah, mine is too. So I took some medication, and I went and I laid down. My youngest son came in the room and said his head was hurting too. So I gave him some medication, and I made him come and, and lay down. Now, when I got in the room, like, it was very weird. Like, I kept feeling something was happening. So what happened was that my son was laying down in my arm. When I woke up, my chest was hurting real bad. Like, no, before I even laid down and went to sleep, my son had got up and he walked out of the room, and I felt something sit down on the end of the bed. I felt something sit down on the end of the bed. And what happened was once that something sat down on the end of the bed, I started getting very drowsy. Like I could not stay up. I got very, very drowsy. And I felt like I was drugged. I felt like I was drugged. Like something had drugged me. And I could not keep my eyes open. And I had never felt this. Like I felt dizzy. I felt drugged. I never felt this way before. So when I fell asleep, I woke up. My chest was hurting. When I looked over, I felt the bed was shaking. And I looked over and my son was having a seizure. So I got up and I started screaming, and my son called 911 and they hung up. And he ended up calling back again and they picked up. And I was like, wow, to get the people out there. The first people that showed up to my house was the sheriff's department. Showed up to my house. And that's so weird because they don't work the area that we live in, but they showed up to my house. And he said, what's wrong with him? Did he get into any of his medications over here? And I'm looking and I'm like, I said no. But I looked over to the case that was there and I'm like, ain't no medicine right there. Wasn't no medicine on there. So I was like, whoa, like something, like this stuff was all crazy. The neighbor, it was just a whole bunch of commotion that was going on. I was screaming. And I didn't trust nobody at the time. I didn't trust anybody. And I honestly still don't trust nobody. But when this situation happened, everybody was acting weird. It was just a whole bunch of weird ass shit going on. It's a whole bunch of weird ass shit going on. And I went and I sat at the, like, I was so worked over that I was like trying to back out of the parking space, and I bumped into somebody's car, and of course, thank God, the police was already there. So I let them know that, I had bumped into that car, and I was like, they was like, are you going to be able to drive? And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be able to drive. And I take the people, and I go and I follow the ambulance to the hospital for my son. And it was just like, it was a horrible experience. It was like 1,000,000 people. It was 1,000,000 people to one. Just people was messing with me, and it was doing all kinds of stuff to me. And they told me something was going to happen, and then all of a sudden my baby was having a seizure. So what I ended up doing is I was in the hospital for a couple of days with my son. I came home and I felt numb. I feel like I haven't been alive since. That it was that important for somebody to just come along and just fuck all over me and take my entire life and happiness away from me. And that was so messed up. It was so messed up. They kept telling me to go back to the job, and I was like, I'm not about to go back there. Because number one, I was humiliated. And they laughed in my face every single day. They messed with me, and they laughed in my face. I was mad because I didn't feel like I had a God that loved me or even cared about me. I was sitting at home just trying to fight. But these people had been doing to me on my own with my children. I think what just makes me even more angry is because that they came for me, but they hurt my baby. They hurt my baby. They hurt my baby. I don't think anything in this world can really honestly cause me to overcome the fact that they tried to hurt. They tried to take me away from my children. And they tried to hurt my baby. They hurt my baby. And I sit and I think about all the flashbacks of just watching them making fun of me, laughing in my face. I want to be able to forgive what these people did to me, but every single day I just relive every single situation that happened at that job. It just replays over and over and over again. And the more that I feel the more I'm exposed to, the more happens. I remember one of the messages was to get Robert, get Candace and Robert. And after that, my son, he started having issues with his chest was hurting and him not being himself and getting dizzy and like he was while he was in school. Could it be a coincidence? It could be a coincidence, but with everything that was happening, it's not to me. It's hard to know that this was all planned. And from what they show me, more and more each day, it's like it makes my heart grow cold. It makes my heart grow cold every single day. Thinking about these people. The things that I hear, and it's just being caught in the middle of a war for something that you are and something that you have built. But nobody cares about you. They only want what you built. They only want what you have, what you work so hard for. They don't want anything about you. They want to take what you have and put it in someone else to make them better or to make them greater and leave you with nothing. Just keep raping you and your children and taking the best for themselves and leaving us with absolutely nothing. Give you just hopes of love and dream and then just take it from you. I feel rage. I do. I feel rage. When I think about what these people did to me, I feel rage. I will never forget those people. Any of these people that's involved, I will never forget any of them and what they did to me.